All right.
Hey.
We are live.
I have to deal with this later. God damn it. I was like streaming and I looked up and I was like, oh shit, it's fucking noon. I gotta cut it.
Right. Yeah, class ran a little late, but that's fine. Alrighty. So, what are we gonna do on the show today, guys?
Well, normally we would review some NFTs,
Mm-hmm.
and in the past we would talk news, but we haven't prepped for that. We can just look at headlines and respond to them, and just have an off-the-cuff conversation.
I saw that there's
Oh, are we live right now?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We
nice.
absolutely are. Hey.
What's up, Sean? Sean, that's what I wanted to talk about. So Sean is a friend of a friend. He is into he's just getting into NFTs.
Ooh.
And so I told him to come watch us, because that way, instead of just, writing an email and getting just my opinion on it, you can get all of our opinions on it live, verbally,
Live and
where we
direct.
could elaborate a bit. So, Sean, let's see. You sent me an email that says, thanks for sharing. Didn't know about Hen. I'm curious, why didn't y'all choose to sell your NFT on OpenSea? I'm under the impression that they're the largest marketplace.
Yeah, Hen is cheap. It's cheap, and there is a presence. It's not as robust as OpenSea, but OpenSea is much more expensive. Currently, the gas rate for Ethereum is 117. So if you want to mint on OpenSea, of course, your initial cost is basically zero, because it uses an approach called deferred minting, where it creates a contract that lives on OpenSea and not on the blockchain. So you haven't created an NFT until you accept a bid, or you accept a buy it now type offer, in which case all of the minting fees are then applied. So whatever gas is at that time, if you accept an offer on an auction, you pay the gas, which would it's been a while since I looked at the correlation between gas and minting fees, but it's going to be like $40 or $50 right now, I would guess. And if your buyer accepts your price, let's say you list it for 1 ETH or half an ETH or whatever, they will pay the minting cost. Now, if you are able to command prices of hundreds or a few $1,000s for a piece of artwork, then that minting fee is more or less irrelevant. Although in the case of an auction, people trying to bid for the same piece of artwork can lead to gas wars and other types of costs that you wouldn't want to deal with, which is why whitelisting has become a trend for new NFT projects lately, where people get basically on the list for an NFT in advance, and it helps to alleviate gas war issues. But it's just expensive at the end of the day, we've had some solid sales on Foundation, which is even more expensive to mint on. It would be like $200 for us to mint and list on Foundation at this moment. And even our sales there don't justify $200 of gas-related expenses on Ethereum. So Hicket Nunk Hen is uses the Tezos blockchain, which is also a green NFT blockchain, meaning it uses proof of stake instead of proof of work, which is a little considerably less environmentally taxing, and it doesn't absorb a bunch of graphics cards to solve problems to do the proof of work. So there are some just ethical reasons I think I prefer Hen, and then Hen is it's filled with other enthusiastic artists. So Hen is a great place to get your feet wet and to learn the ropes, and to I'm still on Hen because I don't feel like I can move anything on any other blockchain, and I don't move a ton on Hen myself. Honestly, I'm kind of a lot more interested in making the work than selling it or marketing it, but that's a me thing. So your mileage may vary. What do you
Hell
guys?
yeah, brother. Hell yeah. So, but yeah, he things are crypto kids are wonderfully creepy, and he's going to share it with one of his friends.
Oh, rad.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So we
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
you,
you
Sean.
very
If you
much.
have
Yeah, badass.
any other questions, feel free to put them down there. If you got any comments or anything like that, if you got any other NFT enthusiasts, bring them on in. Let them know. We have almost a year and a half. What?
No, not a year and a half. Oh, since we started in March.
March. So almost.
So we're over 6 months.
Yeah.
At this point,
Yeah,
the
7
date
months.
is actually right in our. If you go to our page, Modern Weirdos, it's at the very top. March 11th.
March 11th. All right.
So that was 231 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So so we have that much experience.
We've been poking around.
But yeah, obviously Ian does a lot of research and does it very well. So if you have any other questions about that type of stuff, feel free to ask. We're always here to help. Always.
I'm curious about the Cardano stuff. Like once they get their blockchain going, like I think it's active, but I don't know if it's like anybody can just get in there now or not. But like I'm real curious that like once that is in play.
Let's see if I just went to I have no idea off the top of my head, but I'm at the Cardano developer portal. What's the difference between native assets and NFTs? Blah blah blah. From a tech. Okay, so it looks like they have kind of some of their own stuff going on, but yeah, it's not immediately apparent to me that they are available at this time. It seems like the pieces are coming into place, and I wonder if it's a situation where you can technically deploy a smart contract to Cardano now, but there maybe aren't the marketplaces that kind of do the heavy lifting for the artists in place. That's what I would guess.
I mean, because I'll fire up Coinbase and I'll check like their because they've got like a little news tab in there where you can see stuff about NFTs and things, and because this is new, like I think it just came into be like towards the end of September. And I know that there was like an issue, which is why they didn't do like a broad launch. Like they were just doing like kind of like a very closed thing just to kind of make sure they can hammer out like all the kinks and get it working. But like, I believe, I mean, I don't like, I'm not the one in the group to ask about the fucking NFTs, and I'm just a dancing fucking monkey over here, like, like serious. But I try to like, I mean, I'm gonna like piecemeal how this shit works like over time.
Oh, I mean, that's what all of us are doing. Like I may read more of it, or I have read more of it in the past than you guys, but it's not like I'm constantly poring over everything. So we're all just like assembling things from the corners of the web and trying to put the pieces together and testing this and that. That's all any of us can do right now, unless you're plugged into a group that's just right on the bleeding edge. Sean asks, state of not knowing what I don't know other places, or are there any tips or info for people just starting out? So my first question would be, is your primary interest investing, or is your primary interest in creating NFTs and participating on that end? On the investment side, I'm basically an idiot. There's apparently a bunch of money to be made, and there are a lot of ideas about how to create mechanics that will, manipulate or encourage the holders of a token to derive value, which that seems to be used to work as a 3D asset modeler. So you want to be on the creation side. I'm trying to think of like, I don't know of a place where it's just like read this and get all the info. I think it's prepare yourself to read a lot. It's prepare yourself to like sit down and whether it's 15, whatever you can tolerate, 15 minutes a day, an hour a day. If you've gone to medical school 6 hours a day, whatever you need to do. And it's I would start with Hic et Nunc just because the community is extremely friendly. It's pretty easy to work with. It's comparatively simpler, I think, than the sort of web of marketplaces that are inhabiting the Ethereum space, for example. And it's pretty accessible. right? You can just get on Twitter. You can start asking questions. You can start finding people for whom that are already talking about on Twitter and start hitting them up. I've never hit anybody up on Hicket or related to Hicket Nunk where they didn't get back to me, where they didn't have some notes for me or some ideas. And so it kind of came down for me having specific questions and looking for specific answers. But I know that's difficult when you're like, you don't know what you don't know. So, it's a file. It's whatever the marketplace supports. So it's, is it GLBs? You've got some real-time 3D that you want to do? Is it, is it 2D elements? Is it video? All that stuff can be uploaded. You can specify your metadata, which is usually pretty straightforward. It's like, here's a few tags. And, it's not clear to me that tags are a wild driver of sales. It seems like familiarity with your work and your presence on Twitter and the degree to which I don't want to say shill because it's not obvious to me that shilling works very well. But then again, I tend to have a strong disinterest in shilling and I don't do a ton of it. So I could be entirely wrong about that aspect of it. I can't say that I've been wildly successful on the marketing side, but just in terms of understanding the material, fortunately, because a lot of blockchain stuff is open source, you can literally just go read the specifications and the white papers and the material that's available for a given situation. For example, I learned about NFT smart contracts on Ethereum by reading the pretty straightforward papers the developers were exchanging with each other to explain what the implementation of an NFT would be, and that leads to understanding what it's for. So for instance, 721s are a type of NFT contract on Ethereum that allow for the minting of a single token, a single NFT, and attaching metadata which points to files with it. And that's something that you can read about if you search, I think it's ERC721 Ethereum. You'll get a pretty readable white paper. I don't know if it's technically a white paper, but a pretty readable paper that just says, here's why we made it. Here's exactly what it does. Here's what it's for. It'll throw some code at you, but you can just skim through that if it's not your thing. And it will give you an idea of what the advantages and disadvantages of that particular type of contract are. So I don't know, some keywords, smart contracts, anytime you're minting an NFT, you're engaged with some kind of smart contract, which is a computer program which specifies all of the rules of a transaction. So it handles like how you're connecting to the other party, how you're making sure that the other party's, like coins are in escrow and that your NFT is like, basically it handles making sure you can make the transaction without getting ripped off. So obviously you want to understand that. But on the other hand, like you don't have to know every detail of that stuff to get rolling. Like the nice thing about Hicket Nunk is you can throw shit at the wall. And just like, oh, I minted that. Did it work? Okay. Is it there now? Oh, Hicket Nunk's down. That's okay. I'll come back in 15. Okay. It's up there. Oh, I see it. And you can get comfortable with the situation that way. So it's a journey through the jungle. There's not a paved path at this point. But it's not as scary as I don't know, I don't want to ascribe to you. I think that it's easy to get scared. It's easy to get like nervous, like, oh, I'm not going to understand this. It's going to be too hard. That's pride fucking with you. Pride, right?
Yeah. But I would say, in terms of creating stuff, like things that animate, things that move.
Oh yeah, great point.
Are by far the most popular NFTs out there. Still image, I think people feel like they're getting ripped off maybe a little bit because it just doesn't move. Like you'll see, I've seen gradients of color sell for 2 to 3 ether just because it's moving.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and also the artist is a factor too.
Right. Yeah, and that's the other point I want to talk about is that you do have to kind of make yourself a character, and do have to put yourself out there and let people know who you actually are. Like we had a friend who was who picked cherries and made NFTs, and he was a farmer, and I was like, dude, you're the NFT cherry picking farmer or something like that, the NFT farmer, whatever it is. and it's just like some type of character, some type of archetype, some type of thing people can grab onto and identify quickly, right? And just being helpful, being out there, doing stories on Instagram, sharing all this stuff. I mean, it's just like there's so many avenues that you can take to bring people to your NFT. Besides your actual NFT, you know, you can make some fucking comedy skit on Instagram and people like it or whatever, and then they go to your page and go to your bio, see you do NFTs, and then go from there. You know, it's like it doesn't have to be the NFT that drives the attention of everything. So feel free to, you know, express yourself as a person, and also through your artwork so that people can relate to that, because art without a face is not going to sell as much. Like every amazing art piece of artwork, you know, the artist, Da Vinci, Picasso, Pollock, Basquiat, all these people were characters. They were people, not just artists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the guy that did Bjork's? He was like Bjork's baby daddy, Matthew Barney, I think. Look up some of his short films. He brings some character, that's for sure.
Yeah, social recluse, that's fine. You don't have to be Sean Poe. You could be someone else that's not a social recluse, right? Like it's like I don't know, if you don't put yourself out there and let people know what's going on, they don't know what's going on, and they're never going to buy your stuff.
It's hard for them to connect unless the artwork is so such a standout, right? It's such a message. It's got this amazing idea. It makes you feel ways about things. Unless the artwork really is a slam dunk experience for the viewer. I think Spicer's 100% right. It needs the brand. And then the other thing to realize is that the value of art, because art has no intrinsic value, as Spicer is pointing out, it derives from the perception of the artist that it came from, its future value. It's like stock. Do we think artist X is going to shock us with their next piece, is going to wow us with their next piece, is going to make a big splash in some way, or get a huge amount of attention because of this other thing that they're doing? That is what creates the perception of a higher stock value for that artist. It's exactly, well, look, I don't know fuck about the stock market, but I'm going to go ahead and go out and say it's exactly like the stock market. It's do you perceive future value? Do you think it's going to be more valuable in the future?
Yeah, which is what Beeple was. Right, Beeple was this artist that everybody knew, and so many people were subscribed to, not because he was selling NFTs, but because he was making all this outlandish artwork, and he was doing it every single day, and that's what sold his NFTs, not his artwork.
Yeah,
you know, it was him and what he did as an artist within the community, right? So you kind of need to find something or be something or create something that transcends NFTs. It goes outside of that and has a larger impact than just in your NFT realm. So like it's easier said than done, obviously, right?
It's but a way to
those package. And those are the exceptions to the rule, right? Beeple is an exception to the rule. Anyone that's selling NFTs solely based on their artwork, an exception to the rule. Everyone else, Raf Grassetti, Daniel Bell, any of these character sculptors were not famous because they were NFT. They were famous because they did God of War, because they've created some of the most iconic collectibles for Sideshow in recent memory, and then they followed him, and then they got into NFTs, and then they went to go buy one because they didn't want to miss out, right? And so there's so many avenues, so many ways to make your NFT successful, and you just have to. It's like Ian said on the stream is like, do what you love and go on Twitter and tell people about it. That's it. That's the easiest thing that you could ever wrap up. What should I do with NFTs? So if it's comic books, if it's cars, if it's cartoons, if it's carrots, if it's fucking tomatoes, orange, I don't care. Whatever you are the most interested in, you need to create art about that and sell it, because you definitely don't want to be creating art that other people enjoy and not being successful, right? Because then you just wasted your fucking talent and your time trying to what's the word, trying to appease these people.
Yeah. I wouldn't play to I don't know. I wouldn't play to an audience, because like so many people are gonna do that, and then you might not wind up standing out. Like, do shit you like, and not be discouraged either if it's not an overnight success. Because like it took us about a month or so before our first one sold.
I mean, if your art practice is solvent otherwise, and it's not, you don't need the money in order to continue being an artist, that's how I approach NFTs, and that I think that's wise words. If you need NFTs to become an income source, then I think you should play to an audience. Honestly, you should pick your audience very carefully, and you should get to know them, and you should pick an audience that wants stuff that you want, ideally. But if you're trying to run a business, you should try to run a business. And in answer to the issue of being a social recluse, I'm kind of with you. Like, I don't love to, like, I like going on streams, but I don't like it enough to do it wildly consistently, for example. But I've learned that if I want to have an independent, sustainable art practice based upon NFT sales, the only alternative to me building an audience of my own and selling to them, or getting the capital together to get somebody else to build up the audience for me, or whatever it is I got to go work for somebody and make them rich instead, right? So, if you want the freedom and independence, it comes at the price of having to do the work of building an audience, whether it's for you as an artist, for a character that you make up, for your work, or for whatever it is. There's a great book called The Personal MBA. It's not a slam dunk, but it is a book that will, in a very bite-sized way, take you through everything that a business is and needs to have in order to be a business and to not be bullshit. And I highly recommend it, just for at least for understanding the difference between a passionate hobby, such as kind of what I do, versus like running an art-based business where you're beholden to somebody no matter what you do. You're beholden to customers, you're beholden to collectors, you're beholden to your bosses, or whatever it is. Like, you can't avoid that and also be able to sustain yourself artistically with I've never been able to figure out a way to make those two come together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm the same. Like, a social recluse. I do not go out. I don't go to parties. I don't go out to clubs. I don't go out to social gatherings or anything like that, right? But that doesn't prevent me from creating my own environment on a stream and just being myself. Like, that's the main thing I do. That's the reason, my dojo has so many enthusiastic members. It's why my streams, are pretty successful. Why I'm able to teach, as a main source of income. Because people know who I am, and they know what I know, and they know that they don't know that, and so they need to hire me to learn that, right? And if I even if I was the greatest teacher of all time or whatever, but I never told anybody, then that's a waste, right? So if you have something that you feel you want to share, or that people would be interested in experiencing, it is, it's a shame that you're not sharing it. It's a shame you're not sharing your personality, because even though you're nervous about it, no one knows who the fuck you are. Right? So you just go out there and you fail. No one's fucking watching. It doesn't matter, right? And so you're just going to find who you are as an entertainer pretty comfortably that way.
Yeah, it does make it easy to just be to just get out there and talk to the ether. Once you
Yeah.
get over like the I'm talking to nobody kind of thing,
Yeah.
Right.
you eventually, it just becomes therapy. You talk to your inner self,
Mhm.
and you try to find your audience in your inner self, and eventually people that identify with who that conversation will attach.
Yeah.
It's a slow process, but it happens.
Yeah, like that's what I'm going through right now, because I've streamed every single day doing those like pumpkins,
Mhm.
and like I'm quiet. Like I'm gonna have like two speaking voices. Like it's either just like I can't hear you, or why the fuck are you yelling at me? Like I don't. So it's hard for me to like kind of figure out how to speak when I'm doing it, let alone to like talk through what I'm doing. But I don't know. I mean, if anybody watches any of my videos, I'm not worried about the views or anything right now. Like this is trial run for me. Just fucking like just learning to just speak.
Right.
Like, and speak while I do, because I mean, that's what streamers do. Most people, nobody watches somebody just sit there like, like that, like
Right.
turn shit off, But so I'm forcing myself to like speak and like talk through it, and I swear at the fucking mistakes I make and things like that. But I mean, it's good. Like I've gotten over like making mistakes, and I've kind of like weaponized my mistakes now, where it's like, oh yeah, don't do this. Like, like I'm okay with being like a caution, like I'm kind of grooming myself to be a cautionary tale,
Right.
that's okay. That's okay where I'm at right now, because like I think that's part of like those mental roadblocks that like particularly like young artists will do, is like this, like you don't want to fail, you want things to be perfect, and I come from that graphic design background where everything is like you have precise measurements, and like you break rules when you can, where you can, and then I come into ZBrush, and I'm like, y'all aren't measuring shit or lining things up. What the fuck's going on here? Like, so it's a complete different fucking avenue, and like it was scary at first, but now I'm just like, fuck it, this doesn't need to be perfect. I just need to like keep going, and that'll come over time. So like I'm having fun doing that, but just trying to talk through that is that's the biggest hurdle for me, is like just speaking about what I'm doing while I'm doing it, and why I'm doing it, or why I'm not doing something, So yeah, like I agree with the figuring out the personality, but dude, like everybody's got one. You just gotta stick around with it.
The way Dr. Disrespect said is be the person you are when you're in your car alone.
Oh Jesus, I'll get canceled in a second.
Right. Just be that person and stream with that energy, with that type of attitude, because it's like it's a don't give a fuck attitude, which you need to have. You can't sit there and be nervous. Oh my God, I wonder what everybody's gonna think. No, you just go, right? And you make mistakes, and that's fine. That's part of it. You're always gonna make mistakes, or what the price you pay for success. Is that what the saying is?
Oh, that's an excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I think I needed to hear that. Really good timing for that one.
Yeah, but good question, Sean. Good question. If you have any more, feel free to put them down. We really appreciate it.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna try and mint some of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we can do that.
I think what would be cool is to like mint a couple, and then like if we can, like we should curate a few and do some that are carded, like with that card back that I'm trying to work out for this. It'd be kind of fun.
Oh yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, we should like maybe have an episode where we can like we pick the ones we want, and then we could just name them, like do that like live, like the naming thing live. I can set up the cards, like that'd be fucking cool.
Oh yeah, I'm down with that.
I just had a new kind of failure on my 3D printer.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, hold up. I'm getting to the cam. Here we go. It birthed like this phonic slime blob here. Like the print slid out of place, and for some reason it just started growing up around the extruder head and formed like this giant nugget.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
So I looked over and I'm like, that doesn't look like that part is stable. And then I wandered over there.
Yeah, I've been hesitant to use my my extrusion printer for a while because like when I moved and I tried like printing, like I thought I had the bed level, and then I don't know, something got jostled when I moved it. Like I'm just like, I don't want that headache right now. I'm just gonna wait. Great printer, but yeah, I want something that's gonna be a little bit more reliable.
I have a Prusa MKS3 Plus, and I am pretty happy with it, but it definitely has its issues. My Zortrax from several years ago, like has some things figured out better, which I don't quite understand. But in any case, I don't want to dive down that technical rabbit hole right now. Let's see. So I'm going to render some of these guys from what were you guys talking about? You guys talking about doing some more crypto kids?
Minting. Yeah, we
Yeah.
could do that, or but I think what we should do first is run the generator, and if we like something, just export it out.
Yeah,
and then we can take it from there.
All right. So what we're going to do with what we're going to do with the generator here then is we're going to put it into frame mode. New grammar on scrub, new palette on scrub, and then hopefully this is all. There we go. Oh yeah. Look at this guy. Oh, this might be one of the best ones yet. Oh, look at this guy.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The black outfit and the
it's like
pig nose and everything.
That face of the trident, dude. That works. That's awesome.
Let's see, just position this a little bit here.
I was thinking, like, I mean, if we have it in us, like, because I wanted to do like a backside to the card, and like, you know how like old school GI Joe figures had like their file cards. I was thinking they could be like their temp agency resume.
That's pretty good.
Just like a couple like bullet points and some things like you just put in like their qualifications.
Fast learner,
like expendable.
Suicidal ideation.
No living relatives.
Oh man.
Well,
we got to get it done. Well, we in the spirit of the whole thing, they should be generated too. Let's see, and this particular element needs a tooth color since it doesn't have any skin involved. So let's make that. Doop doop doop. Hiding in a hiding place where no one ever goes. Laugh about it, shout about it. What have you got to lose?
That's one of the songs that I prefer a remake over the original.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I like the Lemonheads version of that.
Oh, I don't know if I've heard that version.
It's just like a little more like up tempo, I think, is why I like it.
It's a little dancier.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Fuck. I am like not one to speak about music. Like I like music. That's it. Yeah, I like sound, but I don't know.
Music's fun.
Know what the nuances of the sound is.
That's more or less where I'm at with music as well. Music sounds fun. It sounds good. That's all that I can really say about it. But I've heard a lot of it, and a lot of it is stuck in my head.
You mean y'all don't know the Phrygian scale? Y'all know the pentatonic scale?
I've heard of the pentatonic scale. What's the Phrygian scale? That sounds like
that's your basic like metal scale.
Is it like the Ligma scale?
No, what's Ligma?
Ligma.
Oh yeah, this guy with the size here. This is also good. These teeth are a winner in the set.
Yeah, I like those. Those are good.
So we're capturing these at about 1K, which seems appropriate for what we're doing here, and it's expedient as well. And yeah, I'm just run through here. You guys let me know if you see anything that you got a mint.
Well, we're gonna export the actual geometry so that we could take it and color it and do all that stuff.
My, okay, yeah. I didn't understand that. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna put it in the box too. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, in that case, I will let me figure out how to do that. I think we're good. I think if I just do an export on what's here, it will give it to me in its current state. Let's make sure that's the case. Blender. I recently made a note to work on this for another issue as well, because the way the mushroom guys that I made work is it's much less obvious how to get them out successfully from Blender. So this will probably be more straightforward. Boom, boom, boom.
I've got to start. I need to make a conscious effort to start using Blender more. Like my plan is that like once October's over and I can like let go of the daily like pumpkin grind, I can focus on some other shit.
I like the idea of the daily pumpkin grind, though.
Has been. It's been awesome. Like what's nice too is my wife's been like really encouraging. Like she's giving like, you know, is I try to do them during the daytime when my daughter's napping. Because I don't think I've spent more than like 2 hours on one. I usually try to get them done within like an hour or so because it's literally like a race against the clock when she's sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, what can I accomplish like while she's fucking out that I can at least just call it done, call it a day, and move on.
Yeah, that's I think that ticking clock aspect must be a good motivator.
Yeah, because it keeps me from like just kind of like resting. You know, I'm like I got limited time. What can I do?
Yeah, we can peek under the hood of the randomizer for sure. Happy to share. Hey, Brad, welcome.
Hey.
Let's see, a randomizer generator or a generator that generates other generators? That would be awesome. I've been thinking about that.
Vending machines.
Not quite there yet, but we're going to get there. Okay, yeah, let's look under the hood of this thing. Down here, can you full screen? Here, I can do it. New solo layout. There we go. So I'll take you on a brief tour. What this is made of is a few different collections here in Blender that my script sets up. The output is where the actual element that we're looking at comes from. There's a prototype, which basically the prototype is one selection out of each of the rules categories. And when the script runs, it looks at all the items in the prototype and says, okay, we need to pick an accessory and throw it in output. So it says accessory. It goes and looks at the accessories rules, little rules collection up here that has a list of all the things that could be an accessory. And then it takes one of those and places it in the same spot that the accessory is in the prototype here. I don't know how crazy you want me to go, but I'll flip through the code real quick just so you can kind of see what's involved without getting wildly detailed. It looks kind of complicated, but the structure is more complicated than what's actually going on. Complication of the structure is a convenience for me as a program author. It allows me to do things like have these controls down the side here. By putting the different components in different files, that allows me to like, oh, hey, I want to just generate an element from the grammar. The grammar is just a term for the system. It refers to kind of think about it like Mad Libs a little bit, you know, like, oh, we need a noun, we need an adjective. The grammar goes through and just finds the appropriate items to put into each of those categories. And it comes from the applied mathematical field of formal grammars. If you're into mathematics, I think that's a really fascinating area. But in any case, some of these are pretty simple. These are, these are all just hooking the program up into Blender. So there are some what's called an API or an application programmer interface that allow you to talk to Blender and say, hey, I want you to put a button over here. And when somebody presses that button, I want you to do this particular thing. Right. And then the particular things that are getting done are down here in these other directories. So, for example, let's look at the shape grammar. And here's the main grammar. And it's only like 82 lines. So what this is doing is saying, OK, well, we need to build a rules list. And that goes and looks for all the things that should be rules. to put them into the rules category. So we have like an importer I built. It has, what is it doing here? It is looking for the frame number, using that as a seed, and it's telling the system to go look in the prototype folder or the collection and then replace those from the rules. And that's pretty much it. Python was pretty easy to learn. I have been like a wannabe hobbyist programmer for a while, but not especially competent, just into it. And it probably took me a few weeks to get comfortable enough with Python that I could bang out tools as needed. Blender, if you're already familiar with Blender, you've got that going for you. But I didn't know Blender when I started this process. So it took me like 5 months to get pretty comfortable with Blender. And I've been, I was productive after the first few weeks. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Like I wouldn't hesitate to go for it if you like those kinds of challenges. And if you have more specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, if you're making NFTs and you're not using Blender, you're really doing yourself a disservice, especially as a 3D asset creator.
Yeah, unless you have access to or training in like a different package, like if you're just in ZBrush, then you're paying.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but I mean,
use what you know is what my point is. But if you want to get to know a tool to rock out with, Blender's it, right? There is no better alternative unless you want to pay. What are you gonna say, Spicer?
Yeah, I would say even if you did pay, it wouldn't be as good as Blender.
Yeah,
like there's just so much you can fucking do in Blender. So many plugins have been created that are already in there that you don't even know about. That all you have to do is just turn on, and you'll have an even better time. So Blender is by far the best value.
Yes, without a doubt. Okay, now looking back at let's see, I'll go back to exit solo. There we go. But looking at these guys, I'm gonna just tick through these. You tell me when you want me to export one, all right? So I exported this guy already here. In fact,
we should probably do more teeth like that.
Yeah, we should.
The grimace.
Let's see. I don't think this guy's super strong. Also, I noticed that the colors aren't stable between runs, but the parts are stable. Okay, that's good to know. That's a bug. This guy's all right. He's got his eyeball poking out of the eye patch. What do you think of this guy? He's got a little bow on his muffin here.
Yeah, let's keep going. Keep going.
All right.
Keep going. I don't know. That pickle skin just does not. Anything with a pickle skin is not going to work for me.
Not going to work for you. Okay, well, let's eliminate the pickle skin from the set of possibilities in that case. So suit, and then let me figure out which one is which because I don't have them named here. So let's hide output. Let's show rules, and let's also show outlines. So pickle skin is suit 2. So let's save this because I don't want to have to reintegrate it later if I want the pickle skin. We'll put it before removed pickle skin because I might just want to have my own private time with the pickle skin. So.
Right.
All right. Delete hierarchy. Okay. So that should remove it from ever getting picked again, but we now need to clear the frame scrub and reinitialize those if my recollection is correct. All right, so now, we won't see pickle skin anymore. It's gonna change all of the previous well, actually, surprisingly, it didn't. Okay, I have to look into that. Okay, pickle skin is gone. Oh, this has a mask and eyes here. This mask should probably just replace eyes since it's not compatible with them. All right.
Ducky, ducky, quack, quack. Yeah.
Chicken.
I like that one.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like the bow tie with the face.
All right.
Boxing gloves.
This one's coming out. All right. Export. Make sure I got all that. And this one's entirely manual, but this could be automated in the future now that I think about it.
Brad, 11 years in Blender, but only 2 months in ZBrush. Welcome.
Damn.
Welcome.
You gotta be teaching us. Have you ever done any scripting in Blender? I need help. I need a partner or something on these tools. It's too much work. All right, let's see here. Keeping in. Oh, this guy's all right. Let's see what happens without the eyes. Ooh. Okay, no votes. All right, going on. Blender just crashed.
Damn it.
That's probably related to the script. Honestly, that's not uncommon behavior with especially. I'm using a something called an app handler, which is like a way to tie into Blender events. Like, oh, somebody just changed the frame, and I noticed that it's not super. It's a little persnickety about that. It's a little unreliable in that situation. So don't say. I used to. I got stuck at one point thinking I was never going to be able to render any of this stuff because
Dick jokes.
because the dick chucks. They're on deck. Golden dick chucks. Because when I tried to like render a frame sequence out using this approach, it would crash instantly every time. So it took me several days to come up with a workaround for that. But I find it in Blender, there is always a workaround, which is kind of nice. All right, back on track. And let's actually save this out again. Make sure we are. Oh, really? Okay, I went to save this. I double clicked this, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's totally save that. And the controls to save disappeared. So Blender's in. So let me ask you this, Brad. Has Blender been like this all along? Oh, that's awesome, Brad. Congratulations. Yeah, I've been trying to get my son to learn enough Blender to make tools for me, but he's not. He's fine like messing around with Python, but he's not taking to it sufficiently at this stage. All right, let's see. So let's try to save that again. Save as. Okay. So we can all see that that's there. Great. So I just pick this. That's cool. Save as. There we go. We got it. We got one. All right. Now let's go. Here we go. Let's step back through these again. All right. Tell me when to stop. Ooh, this one's kind of fun.
Yeah, that one was fun.
This one here?
The jar head.
This guy here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
can do. All right. File. Export. GLB. Costume cronies. This is assets. Packaging images. Okay.
Sean, I don't have any sun I can leverage. Any other alternatives?
Knock somebody up.
Yeah, there you go. Better start making some babies. Shit.
Don't have in-house child labor? Knock somebody up. Be a man.
Yeah. Hiring. There's Odesk. There's all kinds of places to hire programmers. Fiverr.
Can't afford Fiverr? Knock somebody up. Be a man.
Oh, yeah. Get on my new website, Threer.
Yeah, mine's cheaper. It's called Tour.
Oh, fuck. You can't do it. It just doesn't work.
What if somebody comes out with 6-minute abs? No. Who works out in 6 minutes?
It's crazy.
7.
What is that actor's name? Is that Harlan Ellison? That was Harlan Ellison, wasn't it?
Yeah, Harlan Ellison. Or Harlan. Yeah. Harlan. Fuck.
I'm pretty sure that's his. Oh no, I'm thinking of the science fiction author, aren't I?
Harlan Ellis is the science fiction author.
Yeah.
Harlan, fuck, I have to look it up. I know it. It's hilarious, man.
Actor. Harlan Williams.
Harlan Williams. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Man, 6-minute abs, man.
I just love how he kind of gets that like face tick. Who works out in 6 minutes?
Ooh, we got Duck Lips, Cage, and Ray Gun here with a badge. You want that one in? All right. Well, that's that. And then GLTF. There we go. Or GLB, I guess is what we're going out. Okay. More money. So while I'm doing this, Chris, I see you got something going there, but you could be making more teeth. I'm just saying, Spicer.
I'm just noodling, man. Like I said, like I don't like my time to touch ZBrush is always limited. So anytime I can like fuck around with it, I'm just gonna play.
You soaring, man. It's an inspiration. I have a hard time getting myself to work on just design. Like I'm gonna draw, I'm gonna sculpt, I'm gonna I always want to work on the abstraction of whatever it is. I want the thing that makes the thing, I'm working on some Lovecraftian mod for a game called FNF with my son, and I can't just draw the characters. I had to go like draw H.P. Lovecraft's head a dozen times to get a feel for him before I could go do the actual work.
He he at least has a very distinct.
Thankfully, yeah.
That's he's got that going for him. Yeah,
which is nice.
So ungula. So what does that mean? On your deathbed, you'll have total consciousness. So I got that going for me.
Let's see. I think I better make sure I'm actually exporting all of the data here. GLTF. See, these all say 245 megabytes. It's interesting that they're all exactly the same size. I better open one of these and make sure they're actually saving out. Export GLTF file. Open. Open recent. No. That's just what they'd expect me to do.
Simpletons.
Let's open the middle one here and just make sure there's something in the file. I'm surprised the file isn't bigger. The Cousins file, which is another one of my projects, is like 2.3 gigs. I was mainly a 2D guy using 3D to support the 2D. So you're doing like setups and backgrounds and getting everything arranged so that you could work over it. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, that looks great.
Oh yeah.
Every time.
This worked perfectly. Okay. Let's try again. Okay. We can do this. We're professionals here. Let's say.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm. I've been in professional environments. I know they fuck up all the time.
Exactly. What are you talking about? This is professional.
Exactly.
It's extremely fucking professional.
Like we're building the plane as we fly it. No, you're wiping your ass as you shit.
Here's how I know that this is exactly what professionals do. It took 8 hours in some cases to open or save a level file for Destiny. Okay. Like one of the highest end, most resourced studios in the world fucked up that badly. Let's see here. It's all figuring stuff. I mean, that's like a lot of the time, and the part of the work that I enjoy is the part where I'm figuring out stuff that I don't know how to do at all. That's like what I built my career on. I really like working in that way. Employers don't like it as much, but sometimes they just, sometimes an employer needs somebody that can solve whatever problem is at hand. So
that's why if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yes. All right. The GLBs don't seem to have the option to just export what's selected, which is interesting. That's a new one on me. All right. So we won't use that format anymore. All right. So let's see. You got some NFT. Oh, that's right. You're working on teeth over there. That's right. Okay. We're doing this. Okay. So we'll just do these as OBJs. What I should have done in the first place. Assets for boxes. CC01. There. Now we'll double check, make sure they working all right. It's import OBJ. How long did it take to open the like 8 hours in some cases? It was like just a comedy of bad decisions as it related to the amount of content they were using, how the files were getting written and loaded from the network. Sounded like it was a nightmare to work on. That was not something I know firsthand. It's something I've read in accounts after the fact. I never worked at that company. Just to be full disclosure. Okay, well, this is interesting. I could have. Oh no, I'm opening now. That's why it's so interesting. Here, and there we go. Yeah, it seems like it's still pulling everything. Oh, we're gonna have to get there one at a time. Export. It's going to be fun. My friend Dwayne Duvall, he's dead now, but he was an older gentleman when I was in my 20s. He was in his 70s or 80s, and he was during his career. This was when I was into sleight of hand. Was it Ledger Domain? And he was known as the gentleman sneak thief. So he had a pickpocketing act where he'd snatch stuff, he'd snatch your wallet, and all that stuff. But he was an interesting fella. He once showed me before he knew me very well, he was showing me a card trick at a party with other magicians. So this is at a party with other magicians, and I'm like, an amateur or whatever. He's showing me this card trick, and he says, "Do you know what I did there?" Because he kind of talked like this. "Hello, Dwayne Duvall. Anyway, do you know what I did there?" And I said, "Yeah, you used a Hindu shuffle to force that card, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, he took me aside, and he gave me the talking to of my life. "You never do that to him." And you were like, "What? What? You're talking to somebody and you did an obvious move. You're talking to a magician at a magician party and you did an obvious move. Like, what am I supposed to say? Oh, Dwayne, you fooled me. You delightful old man. You're such a caution." Like, what do you want from me? So that's my Dwayne Duvall story.
Dwayne
Duvall. Yep.
Duvall.
So like Robert Goulet.
Yeah. Much more promising at 18 megabytes. Okay. Good. All right. That's exporting correctly now. Excellent. Although we're not going to get any materials, but that's fine because we probably want to do custom materials anyway. All right, we'll get this guy because he's got cool teeth. Man, I just need to write a script to do this. I wonder how hard that would be. Well, we're on the show. How much longer do we have? How much longer are we going to run for?
We got 23 minutes.
Oh yeah, we can write a script for this in 23 minutes, I think. Let's try at least. Let's see. Let's call this export 1, and then we're going to have to import BPY. I'll just narrate this since some people it'll just be more interesting if I talk about it than not. So BPY is the module that it's the API for Blender. It allows you to interact with Blender. So we import BPY. And then we're just going to do a bunch of snooping around to figure out how it's doing each of these operations. So we need to figure out how to select all the parts we want to select. Let's go A, which is selects all in the scene. And then I can look down here in this, I'm not sure what this panel is called, but it shows you a list of actions, and it shows you the operations that were called internally in order to make them happen. Now, normally I wouldn't want to use. You'll see here that that I'm going to use a module called ops, BPY, or it's a submodule called ops. I don't like to use it because it requires, or it has a lot of failure states. Like if you're not, if you don't have the scene or the selections, or you're not in the right window, if something's off, it'll just fail, and that's no fun. So for quick stuff like this, though, it's perfectly reasonable first stop to see if it's going to give us the result we want. So we're just going to copy the code from there, because all we need to do is select all. And then let's see, do we have, where's my export? BPY space data params. I wonder if we can can I just do that? Because that'd be great. And then, yeah, man, that'd be awesome. 2. So if I set this to 2, is this all I need to do? Let's unselect it. And let's run it, see what happens. See if it barfs. It barfed. So now we got to go figure out why it barfed, and then shove the vomit back into its stomach. That's what you want to do. Okay, so space text editor object has no attribute param. So that obviously is not going to help us. Let's see. Data text. Okay, so that is related to the text file we're making there. was hoping that one of these. Oh, let's see. I don't know. Okay. Context.space_data.params.directory. Oh, I wonder if it's having to set up several of these things before it actually runs the action. So we'll have to do a little bit of research on this subject. Fortunately, Sean, we're going to have this put up on YouTube. And if you have any questions or you want me to slow down on something, hit me up and I'll do my best. I don't have any difficulty or problem with being interrupted. That's what we're here for. So Daniel says, or Zink says, in film, we have had shots we couldn't open in Maya on a high-end computer, just used code to open it on the farm to open it and rent. Oh my God. Yeah, I feel you there.
That sounds horrible. I don't even know what that's like.
Can't even get it into video memory. You just have to you just need to read the data and deal with the pixels and try to leave the human out of it, basically.
Oh man.
All right.
Have any of you paid attention to that the Shiba Inu coin or whatever? It's like creeping up on Doge.
Oh no, huh?
There's all of my. I meant to bring that up earlier when we were talking about like crypto, but there was lots of talk. I guess it's like climbing. It's like it hit the top 10, or it's one of the top 10 cryptocurrencies at the moment.
Jeez.
So
maybe time for me to get out of Doge.
Should I invest in Shiba Inu?
I just want the cash. I mean, right. I don't really want to be invested in dollars, but I'm such a terrible investor. I am such an inexperienced, and I have a poor track record as an investor. I'll use the growth-oriented self-talk versus the aggressive self-talk.
Dude, I've been like shaving off Ethereum and dumping it into Cardano. So like when it hits, like if it goes over a certain dollar amount, I take everything above that point and dump it into Cardano. And I've been I don't know if that's a good thing to do or not, but don't take that. No one take that as advice.
I accidentally did okay in Doge, and then as I was playing with said Doge, I accidentally made poor decisions, so I decided to just walk the whole thing back. Like let's just let it sit. But I get nervous, right? Like, there's talk of hyperinflation, and most of my real assets are in like securities, traditional securities. And so are those going to turn to dust at some point and I'm going to become poor?
Yeah. I mean, I'm cautiously watching what's going on with China and all the crypto. Like they're fucking Jesus. They're like slashing everything. They're taking any chance like a person can have of having wealth and just removing it. Like they're not fucking around at all.
That's the reason you can always count on pimping.
What did they just killed something that was it LinkedIn that they just killed? Like they took.
They're like trying to interfere with anybody's ability to like do it for themselves.
Yeah, like they just because they just knew. Yeah, it was some big thing I just saw like about a week or so ago. They're like, nope, this is gone now too, and it was like the third largest market for that app or whatever you want to call it, service, and they just got gutted.
One of the ideas floated around about the sort of prohibition of psychedelics is that it was becoming apparent that at least LSD, if not other psychedelics, had one of the effects was to decrease tribal bonds. So what do you think would scare a government reliant on exploiting the people more than the popularity of a drug that helped you to connect in healthier ways potentially and disconnect you from the establishment that is using your labor and presence and needs to make their riches?
That makes me think of that scene in Mel Brooks' History of the World when the two Roman soldiers get like blasted with a giant joint and the guy's like, do you care if it falls? And the dude's like, if what falls? The Roman Empire. And the other dude's just like, fuck it. They just start laughing.
I'm just stealing some code here. I'm not even paying attention to it very carefully. because it looks like somebody's got something typed out that looks viable. Sometimes if I don't have the ability, like on a stream, I often don't have the ability to fully commit my brain to what's going on with the code. So I'll just copy it. Further export options, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so yeah, actually, gotta have to do this. Otherwise, it's gonna export the whole thing again. There we go. Presumably would need to be up here and scan through these. Vertex order, blah, blah, blah. Group object. Use triangles, use material. I just need to use selections. Here it is. Use selection. True. That's the only one I care about.
Was that all you care about?
Oh, I said I cared about you, but that was just to get you in the sack.
Oh.
That's just what we call pillow talk, baby.
Right?
It was more than that.
I said the words.
Okay, let's see if we get this going here. Where's the directory we're outputting to? Let's see. Blend file path. So it's going to put it next to the file. We can handle that. Open file location. Okay, and let's just call this location in an alley. That's where I do my abortions with a coat hanger now. If you would like to remove that baby from your womb now, come see me for the alley abortion, and I will happily. I lost it. Ah, damn! It was such a good song too.
Was based off of Annie.
Yeah. Tomorrow, the alley. Tomorrow, I'm drinking my child away. Let's hit this button. Ooh, this looks promising.
They're
Okay,
melon patch kids. They're not just orphans. They're abandoned.
I think it worked.
Black Dynamite.
Let's see here.
Oh God.
The worst thing about these kids is that they orphans. I was an orphan.
Man, it's been a while. I think I saw that at Sundance, which was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Like I've only been a couple times, and I think Black Dynamite was there that year. I thought it was a lot of fun. Okay, done. Did this export nothing? Is that the issue here? Because that's also not going to work. Let's try to import it this way. Import OBJ. So it looks like it might work. Packages, source. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. What's going on here? Oh, it's just in the root. Correct directory, that's why. These. Okay, O2. There we go. Yeah, all right, we're on track.
Nice.
Yeah, all right. So now I can just when I can just hit the script button and we get it all exported properly. No extra steps. Okay, now we can pop back over to layout, and we need to be able to see the text editor and open up the export to script. All right, now we back in task. Okay, so let's see. This guy's all right. Let's run that one. Oops. Okay. I do need to remember to increment the file name each time, though.
Bitch ass teeth.
Damn. Oh, I could get it to use the file, the frame number. Let's do that. That's in the context, I think. Let's see. We're back over here to scripting. The interactive console is really helpful in Blender when you're working out scripts. So you can test stuff out relatively easily. I think c.scene.frame frame current. That's what we want. Frame current, and that's just going to output the number. Yes, perfect. So now we can use that information to automatically update this file name, so we don't have to adjust it ourselves every time. So we're going to do, I don't know, frame number equals, and then we have to type it. We can't use C here. We have to bpy.context. That C is a shortcut for it in the console. Dot Scene.
Oh, I talked to my dog.
You talk to your dog. No wonder you don't get out very often. Let's see here. CC underscore frame. Oh, we got to do this as a formatted string. Frame, and then we can put frame number right there. All right. And let's just test this, make sure it worked as expected. We pop back over here in the layout. Let's go back to the first one and just make sure that has what we expect. We'll plop that out and see that has all been generated. And to make sure that there were no surprises, do another test. All the testing. I started out as a test engineer in technology when I first got into tech. It was before test engineering was a broadly utilized field in software. And so they just like got a 15-year-old kid and they're like, I don't know, figure out how to test some stuff. Here's a book by some academic.
Hear yourself. It's not our fault.
Yep.
You signed the contract. Yeah.
I found out after they hired me that they hired me as some like, or at least they used it to get press as like we're getting problematic youth off the streets. I know nobody said, "Hey, this kid's a problematic youth. We can you hire him?" But they clearly thought that they were leveraging that idea in some way. Oh, this is so much nicer. Okay. It's so much harder to fuck up. Yeah, we're talking. Okay, let's see. This guy's all right. Let's send him out. Now the bar for actually generating one of these is a lot lower too. Like, I don't know, just a bunch of them, right? Pickle on the head. I remember we liked that one. Okay, we're all caught up to where we left off. Thank Christ.
Thank the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Hey, Jesus, I appreciate you. Oh, this needs to be a different color. Oh, did that get saved? Keith? No? Keith? No, nothing. All right, let's fix that up. Keith. Okay. And oh. Back up. No, I didn't mean it. Control Z. Come on, please. It's gonna need to be changed anyway. So let's see. Did 16 get rendered? Yeah.
Or what was your favorite new feature that they got coming in ZBrush?
Oh, you guys got to tell me about the new features because I didn't catch any of the Sculpt Off or any of the Summit this year.
Oh, jeez. That would probably be like the embossing.
Is it the relief stuff?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm with you on that. That's like, oh my God. Now I don't have to learn how to like sculpt relief.
Yeah.
Like focus on. Now you can just like, that's insane. Like that was insane.
Because I usually would sculpt it in 3D and then I would just take a plane and I would flatten it to it. And then it would just retain all the relief structure.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would make an alpha and then I would drag it out. That was the way I used to do release. But now you can just zip. And I'm like, all right, I'm down with that.
Dude, now, is this different from Project Multimesh? What is the advantage over that?
Dude, I don't.
Yeah, I guess I gotta see it.
Like you got like when you see it, you're gonna be like, holy shit! That was like a new feature that I was like really impressed to see. That like felt like, wow, that's gonna be huge.
I'm used to that feeling when it comes to ZBrush.
Just for like, I mean,
a lot of holy shit moments out there.
The detailing that you can do to shit now is going to be insane. Oh my God. I want to do some Glock slides with that. That'd be amazing.
Some block slides.
Like the slide, because like blocks are pretty like flat and rectangular.
Oh, okay.
But you could do like some like really like ornate stuff on there now. It'd be amazing, like personalized things.
Oh, interesting. Would you then get that printed in metal? Is the slide a non-precision component or a component where you could make
It's pretty precise. Like you can get like I think you can still find them on Thingiverse too, because it's not the firearm itself. It's just the
right.
But because you can find. I mean, people will make like the back plates on those things too. They'll do little like tiny little like details. But I mean, it's like flat like vector graphic looking things. But like now you could do like Jesus, like the level of detail you see on coins and things. Like man, like any surface can be tricked out. It's going to be wild. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, you can use it on hard surface, organics, leather. I mean, it's like, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
How's Atlas coming along, Spicer?
Oh, it's coming along good. Coming along good. Let me see. Where is it? Atlas. So wait, but yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that was hilarious. Like, how much does that thing weigh? The weight of my mortgage.
Oh yeah, right.
That's awesome.
That was fun. But yeah, I can't wait to print that guy. That guy's gonna look dope.
Yeah, put that up again. Can I see?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, yeah, because that's like more than. Looks like. Did you put any more in since that stream?
Oh yeah.
Seems like it.
Oh yeah. This whole thing I redesigned instead of having it look like a meatball. I laugh about that. I was making this and I was just giggling. It's like, yeah, it looks like a meatball. I was like, holy shit, it does look like a fucking meatball. Fuck. I was like,
how did this happen?
I was like, well, we're gonna make it look like the opposite of any meatball ever. But yeah, and then going to hopefully put a river down here and have it go into a moat.
Oh, that's cool.
And then some foliage around here that can actually be 3D printed, but plan to throw it through Substance Painter and put all the dings and dingles.
Oh, nice.
All that stuff.
Now, if you ding it up in Substance Painter, then what's the target for this? Is it's meant to be printed, right?
Yeah, printed and can be put into a game engine.
Oh, okay. So there is the Substance Painter stuff will be.
Well, you can carry it over into ZBrush as long as it's a height map.
I gotcha.
Yeah, you put that in the texture and you put it in the displacement. And as long as they're the same image, then it'll displace the dings and dingles all over this.
Oh shit! I didn't realize what I just did.
Okay, Brad. Have a good day, dude. Thanks for watching.
Later, Brad.
All right. Well, I've exported a handful of these things. Let's see. What is it? We got 38 divided by 2, 15, like 17 of these things, 18, something like that. So we got some options here. I'm going to zip them up and put them into our Discord.
Can use some Tifuses.
Yeah, excellent. And I can do some more exports with the Tiefs later today. We're about to wrap, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. I gotta get some to eat before next class.
Yep.
But yeah, hell yeah. Appreciate everybody being here on the stream. Thanks to Sean. Thanks to Daniel.
Yeah.
Thanks to Brad. Really appreciate all the questions and engagement. If you know anyone else that would enjoy a stream like this, and definitely invite them in. Other than that, Voidstrummer, you want to let them know where they can find you?
Yeah, Voidstrummer.
My bad. Wrong button. One more time.
Voidstrummer.com is the best place to see what I'm up to in terms of my artistic projects, projects that I do kind of for the sake of art. And you can go to various.graphics if you're interested in my commercial art portfolio, or if you want to recommend me to somebody for a job. Graphics. And I'm on Twitter, Voidstrummer, and yeah, pretty easy to track down. Thanks.
And Mandibles.
Hey, Chris Baxter, aka Harry Mandibles. You can go to gammabombstudio.com, get all my social, see all the random shit I'm up to on my own or with these guys. Trying to keep more tabs on that there, and streaming every day on YouTube, at least for the rest of the month, and probably at least minimum once a week once October closes out on my YouTube channel, which is Unstable Molecules.
Alrighty, and you can find me every Tuesday night, Pixelogic YouTube, every Friday night on my own YouTube, Shotgun Scream, where you can find me under my name, Spicer McLeroy. You can find me there too. And we are Modern Weirdos. We appreciate you being here and joining us within the Institute. And we will see you next Thursday, 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Everybody say bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.